Ontario continues to exceed 60,000 COVID-19 tests a day, while also stepping up testing for variants of concern. So joining us to talk more about this is Michelle Hoad, the CEO of the Medical Laboratory Professionals of Ontario. Michelle, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
So processing about 60,000 tests a day at this point, how much pressure is this putting on the labs?
So it's a lot of pressure right now. I think Premier Ford has set a target for 100,000 back in January. And I think we've been able to kind of keep at that 58,000, 59, 60,000. Again, you know, our labs are all understaffed. So we're asking all these people to go above and beyond every day. So this is probably a reasonable number that we'll be able to hit continuously.
So when you talk about the pressure that these labs are under right now, and then the fact that Premier, aiming for 100,000, is this achievable then?
A hard answer, because with the current shortage of people we have, we're only dealing with one group of people that can actually use these machines. So what they're doing is they're actually adding more machines or instruments at additional labs across the province. But that has taken time. So we're at about the 12-month mark now, and we've got over 55 labs participating. And every week there will be another lab that gets an instrument and gets trained. But I think we need to remember that this is still the same group of people that does 284 million lab tests every year, all the other tests that we need done every day. This is on top of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how much work they're handling at this time, and certainly unprecedented time. Michelle, can you speak a little bit more to the staffing issue? Do you think that more employees are needed to keep up with the demand? Because the way it looks right now, the tests will continue to increase, especially when we have these variants.
Actually, just this past week, we actually submitted a pre-budget submission to the government to talk about what actually needs to happen in our labs in order to meet this demand. And there were kind of 4 key things. We need more people in our labs. We need more funding in our labs. We need more spots in our schools. And we need to look at some dedicated funding to our rural and remote community labs. Labs that are not in the downtown core, not in the southwestern region, but really north, where it takes hours to be able to travel a test to a lab. So those are 4 things we're looking at, not an immediate solution right now. I think the immediate solution right now is having our core group doing the best they can, having Ontario citizens follow the protocols, because the less tests going into those labs, the less pressure it is for our lab professionals.
Has there been any response from the province when it comes to the request for additional support?
Not at this time. I think they are focused on, and I think to respect their priorities, there's a lot of fires right now that they're dealing with. But this is, I'd like to call it as one fire that's burning. It has been burning for the last 10, 12 years, and now it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and we need someone to address the solution. So let's hope that our submission that went in actually gets some attention and some action happens, because this may not be the only pandemic that we see in our lifetime.
Michelle, my final question, one of the bigger stories this week, the fact that we're starting to see the asymptomatic testing happening in schools. Toronto, for example, students were given these kits where I believe they're saliva kits, so they take them home and then they drop them off. Can you maybe walk us through how that testing works, and will this help relieve some of the pressure that your labs are seeing right now?
So it sounds like that's another rapid test that they've introduced out in the community. I think what's important to understand, and the way I kind of look at all these new rapid tests that are coming out that are being approved, is it's just more additional information. So, for example, the government has done a really good job at expanding who can actually administer those tests. So that's why we're starting to see them in the community. I think when I heard about these rapid tests, I thought it would be really nice for us in the future, like I'm talking months ahead, to be able to be in a situation where you and I could go somewhere and get a rapid test, and maybe for the day we're clear because we have something to say we're clear. Like, that would get everybody back to normal. But again, it's all about process. It's finding people. It's collecting those tests from the schools, bringing them back. There's a lot of moving parts that need to be considered.
Certainly is. Michelle Hoad is the CEO of the Medical Laboratory Professionals Association of Ontario, joining us live this morning. Thank you for your time, Michelle.
Have a great day.
You too. Some other news.